Thinking about starting a family? Wondering how to boost your chances of getting pregnant? You're in the right place. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to my channel, your trusted space for health, wellness, and everything womanhood. In today's video, we're diving into everything you need to know about how to get pregnant, from understanding your cycle and timing things just right to lifestyle tips that can improve fertility for both partners. Whether you're just beginning your journey or looking for some extra guidance, we've got you covered. So hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and let's get started on this exciting path to parenthood. Your fertile window. When you're trying to get pregnant, there's so much you can do to maximize your chances of success. How do you have sex? What do you do afterward? I'm here to tell you what matters and what doesn't. So let's get talking. Getting pregnant can seem like a marathon. The egg has to be released at just the right time. The fallopian tubes, which are not attached to the ovary, must pick up the egg and somehow get it into the perfect spot in the fallopian tube where plenty of sperm are available. If it manages to fertilize the egg now becomes an embryo. And that's how you get pregnant. All of this is so time-sensitive that essentially getting the timing right and figuring out your 4-day window and ovulation are the two key ways you can actually get pregnant in a timely manner. Your fertile window is essentially 6 days leading up to ovulation. You're most likely to get pregnant in the 2 to 3 days leading up to ovulation. So, let's say you have a 28-day cycle. Day 1 is the day your period starts. You're probably ovulating somewhere around days 14 to 16, which means, going back to my earlier suggestion about the fertile window being 6 days before ovulation, you can start to have intercourse every day or every other day, beginning on days 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. Alternatively, you can begin to have intercourse on days 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. If having sex every day is your jam, go for it. If every other day is more convenient, then do that. By all means, I wouldn't worry about how many times a day. Essentially, try to get sperm in during that 4-day window. Tracking ovulation. The second thing you can do is use an ovulation predictor kit. These are essentially little strips that detect the early surge in luteinizing hormone, LH, which triggers ovulation. Typically, ovulation is expected to occur within 24 hours of a positive result. However, here's the caveat. Sometimes ovulation takes place 2 days after the strip turns positive. Additionally, approximately 7% of these kits can yield a false positive. Therefore, it's important to consider these limitations when using ovulation predictor kits. Another method is tracking your basal body temperature, BBT. This involves measuring your body temperature first thing in the morning before getting out of bed. Typically, after ovulation, there is a slight increase in your temperature due to the hormone progesterone. By charting these daily temperatures, you can identify patterns that indicate when ovulation has occurred. Your cervical mucus is another indicator. Throughout your menstrual cycle, especially around ovulation, your vaginal secretions become more slippery and wet. This fertile cervical mucus facilitates sperm movement and survival, increasing the chances of conception. Monitoring these changes can help you identify your most fertile days. Lubricants complete and full disclosure. You do not need fertility-friendly lubrication to get pregnant. However, if you experience vaginal dryness or find intercourse painful, a lubricant may be necessary. In such cases, opt for a lubricant that is mineral oil-based or specifically designed to be fertility-friendly. It's important to note that water-based lubricants are generally not recommended for conception purposes. Positions. The number 1 myth is that you have to lie down after having intercourse and not pee. Get up, go pee, and do whatever it is that you need to do. Lying down has not been shown to improve your chances of conception. The number 2 myth is about positions. Any position that gets sperm into the vagina is a great position. So do not feel like you have to go out and discover a new position that gets you pregnant faster. Oh my gosh, legs up after sex? If that's something that you like to do, by all means, but don't feel like you have to do that just so that you can get pregnant. As far as female orgasm goes, that's wonderful, but it's not necessarily going to help you get pregnant. Sperm are pretty good at getting up to the fallopian tubes. They've been seen to reach the fallopian tubes within 15 minutes of being present in the cervix. And then guess what? They don't stay in the fallopian tubes. These sperm actually get into the peritoneal or abdominal cavity. so sperm are pretty good about finding their way to where it really matters. Things you can do. Preconception tips to optimize your fertility. Before you're trying to get pregnant, consider these steps. Prenatal vitamins containing folic acid. Folic acid has been shown to prevent neural tube defects in your baby. So please, please, please do that. That's super duper important. Smoking. Smoking is a big no-no. It has been shown beyond any doubt to affect fertility and increase the risk of miscarriages. So smoking is something that I absolutely would ask you to quit or not recommend in the least bit. Caffeine. The data gets a little bit hazy with caffeine. Light to moderate caffeine use is probably okay. And when I say light to moderate, I mean less than 2 cups of coffee a day. This is assuming that you get your caffeine only from coffee, not from tea, chocolate, or other sources. Alcohol. Same as caffeine. You obviously don't want to consume any alcohol when you're pregnant. And honestly, if you want to be extra prepared and stop drinking alcohol completely, that's fine. Exercise. They've shown that moderate exercise is good for patients. So a healthy, well-balanced diet and moderate exercise are completely compatible with trying to get pregnant. When to seek help. All the information I've provided assumes you have normal, regular cycles. If your cycles are irregular or absent, this is an excellent time to consult a fertility specialist to discuss how they can assist in regulating your cycles. If you're under 35 and have been trying to conceive for a year without success, it's advisable to consult a fertility specialist. For those 35 and older, it's recommended to seek help after 6 months of trying. If you're 4 years older and have been trying for a couple of months without success, please consult a fertility specialist immediately. Other scenarios warranting a consultation with a fertility specialist include a history of endometriosis, previous radiation or chemotherapy treatments, known scar tissue in the pelvic cavity. It's important to remember that seeking assistance is a proactive step toward understanding and addressing any potential challenges. Consulting a specialist is not only beneficial for you, but also for your partner, as fertility issues can involve both individuals.